So, how many of y'all are Food Network Top Chef fans? I could not believe this news when I saw it. So, if you didn't know, Eric Adjepong, who is a popular Food Network host, he was on Top Chef. He's been ordered to stay away from his 7-year-old daughter following some abuse allegations. I've watched his shows. I love the Food Network. I love Top Chef. Really, if it's a cooking competition, I'm going to watch it, whether it's Chopped, Master Chef. I know that's on a different network, Hell's Kitchen, anything Gordon Ramsay related, food truck, the food truck race on Food Network. I even watched the show that Adjepong was host of where he's like, doing it's some type of show. I can't remember the name of it where people are like going up against Alex Garnaschelli, who is a well-known chef. He just doesn't give abuser vibes, but I guess what abuser does that's in the public eye. But let's get into this story because I find it to be very disturbing. So it's coming from the LA Times. It says a judge says Chef Eric Adjepong can't be alone with 7-year-old daughter amid abuse claims. So, Top Chef alum and popular Food Network host Eric Adjepong has been ordered to stay away from his 7-year-old daughter following an investigation into abuse claims. According to the Washington Post, a Maryland judge found that there is a preponderance of evidence, meaning a lot, to believe Adjepong physically abused his daughter, leading to a protective order that bars the celebrity chef from contacting or being alone with his daughter until he completes parenting courses and reunification therapy with the child. So apparently the abuse is not sexual in nature because I don't see them giving him parenting courses for that or reunification therapy. You wouldn't want to reunify a child with their parent who may have sexually abused him. So I think we can rule that out. However, his former wife, Janelle Davis Mack, posted a screenshot of the case information on Instagram, and I feel like her caption suggested sexual abuse with the words that she used. So let's look at what she posted. So as you can see, it's the Maryland case search and records. And she put this out on July 17th. It says, my daughter has watched me rebuild our life, focused on our safety after I divorced her father 4 years ago. I've also taught her about body autonomy, consent, boundaries, and to tell the trusted adults around her when she feels unsafe. My daughter was just granted a protective order against her father because she was brave enough to speak up against who should have been one of the most trusted adults in her life. Unfortunately for him, I'll never stop believing her, protecting her, or reminding her that her voice matters. We've been quiet long enough. So, is it just me, or does the language of her caption suggest sexual abuse by using those buzzwords: body autonomy, consent, boundaries, feeling unsafe? That to me screams sexual abuse. If I hadn't read the article, I would have just thought, oh, he must have touched her. Like, I can't believe that. But apparently it wasn't that type of abuse. So I want to go back to the article. It says that Judge Maurice C. Frazier issued the protective order against Adjepong on July 10th. It will remain in place until July 10th, 2027. So it lasts for a year. The James Beard nominated chef is mandated not to contact, harass, abuse, or threaten to abuse his daughter or former wife. While the order is in place, Adjepong can have supervised visits with his daughter. So again, I don't think the abuse was sexual if they're allowing him to see his daughter with supervision. It says, in May, Davis Mack filed a petition in Howard County, Maryland, seeking protection for her daughter from Adjepong, citing alleged child abuse. Per the Washington Post, Davis Mack claimed that a nurse who examined their daughter filed a report with the D.C. Child and Family Services Agency, which launched an investigation by D.C. police. So I don't know if the mom took her to see the nurse for this very reason or if it came out during the doctor's visit. So I don't know. We didn't get that backstory. But it says that a spokesperson for DC police told the Washington Post that his youth investigations branch was prompted to investigate claims of sexual abuse, but detectives found no probable cause that sexual abuse had taken place and referred the case back to Child and Family Services. On Wednesday, Adjepong, so he's hitting back with the Instagram, posted what appeared to be a screenshot of email correspondence from the DC Child and Family Services Agency, stating that on April 29th, they received a report of potential neglect or abuse, investigated the claims, and found sexual abuse claims unfounded. So he's saying that I was cleared of that. They didn't find any evidence that there was sexual abuse. And he posted that basically to clear his name. Let's look at his Instagram post. It says, I am aware of recent media inquiries concerning a protective order entered on July 10th, 2026. Because this matter involves my young daughter, whom I love deeply, I intend to protect her privacy and will not discuss the underlying allegations or other sensitive family matters publicly, other than to say that these allegations arose in the context of a long-running divorce and custody proceeding, which finally concluded on June 2nd, 2026. So he's basically saying that they've been in a custody battle, a divorce battle, and she filed this after the divorce proceedings concluded. So I guess he's suggesting that this is some get back at him, I guess, for, divorcing her. It continues. The court's protective order followed careful reviews by law enforcement and the District of Columbia Child and Family Services Agency. The District of Columbia Metropolitan Police Department closed this investigation without filing charges. CFSA concluded its investigation with an unfounded disposition, which its report defines as not true. And you see here in the highlight, it says unfounded means our investigation showed this report was not true under the claim of sexual abuse. This is crazy, y'all. This is messy. It says, I have the utmost respect for the circuit court that issued the protective order and am strictly complying with every facet of the order, which is designed to ensure that my daughter is safe and treated respectfully and to ensure her reunification with her father. The judge eloquently described the nature of my relationship with her at the hearing. My foremost concern is my daughter's well-being. It is my fervent hope that in the future, my ex-wife and I can resolve these matters privately and through the proper legal channels rather than in the press, if only for the well-being of our daughter. So he's suggesting that the wife is just mad. They're making up false claims against me. You see that it was unfounded, but I'm going to abide by the protective order because it's in the best interest of the child. The fact that he is barred from seeing her without supervision for a year, I don't know. I would have to get a lawyer on the line to tell me what that means. Now, I do want to get into his comment, his statement. It says, the past several weeks have been among the most difficult of my life. I've remained silent, not because I lacked a response, but because I believe integrity is measured by how you conduct yourself when your character is being questioned. Others can choose rhetoric. I will choose truth. Others can seek public opinion. I will continue to place my faith in God, honor the court, and let my character speak for itself as it always has throughout my life. My faith has taught me that truth does not need to be loud to endure. As a father, my responsibility has never changed. As a man, neither have my values. Today, I'm sharing this statement not to fuel public debate, but to ensure that facts exist alongside speculation. My foremost priority will always be my daughter. I dearly love her, and as her first line of defense, I'm here to encourage and protect her and would never weaponize or abuse her. Full stop. I will continue to protect her privacy, innocence, and respect the legal process and trust that truth, my character, and time reveal what headlines cannot. To my legal team, thank you. To everyone who has prayed for me, encouraged me, and stood beside me through this season, thank you. I ask that you continue to keep my daughter and my family in your prayers. Eric. I'm interested to see what the comments say because the people were very apologetic and concerned for the ex-wife. Let's see what these comments say. Someone says the unfortunate part about all this is even though the allegations are not true, it can still tarnish your reputation and therefore cost your career. I hope neither proves to be true. You're an inspiration to me and I need you to remain doing what you're doing in order to inspire others. Somebody says my husband's ex did the same thing. The state police came and took the kids. He couldn't see them for a week. It was totally unfounded. She thought he would lose custody. They need to start prosecuting women who do this. Someone said, you know the truth, your daughter knows the truth, and the court as well as CFSA knows the truth. I'm so very sorry that you and your daughter have been put through this. So you're seeing like a lot of different takes from the the people that are on his page versus the people that are on the woman's page. And this is messy. This is messy. And I pray that my husband and I will stay together and we will stay aligned on our mission to be together and raise our children together and live happily ever after. And that nothing like this ever happens, because I have seen firsthand the things that women will do when it comes to custody, when it comes to a man not wanting them no more. I'm not saying that this is the case, but I don't know. The sexual abuse claims were unfounded. However, this LA Times article is saying that, they still upheld this order. So, I don't know. I guess the truth will come out. What do you all think about this? This is just so very unfortunate and sad for their daughter. And, if it turns out not to be true and the wife is doing this, because that does happen. Look at Big Tigger. His wife is batshit crazy. And that she had us out here thinking this man was abusing her when she was the one that was giving abusive. But, y'all, we got to hold women accountable too, just as we hold men. And parents, adults should be accountable for what they do to their children, around their children. The children should always come first. That is what I believe. It breaks my heart to see families broken and going through this, children being without their parents. It's just really sad. And, the cliche, you got to be careful who you have children with. You got to be careful who you decide to spend your life with, because things like this could happen. And I hope the best for his daughter. And I know this is probably traumatic for her and it's going to last for a long time. She's going to need therapy and all types of healing and support to get through this. But I hope the truth comes to light, because we're getting two totally different stories. But the fact remains that the protective order is in place for a year. So it means you did something. I don't know. It's something there for that to happen. Because again, going back to that article, a Maryland judge found that there was a preponderance of evidence to believe that he physically abused his daughter, which led to the protective order. I guess what he was trying to do is just say, I ain't sexually abused her. I don't know. I'm confused. Somebody help me out with this. But he's not as innocent as he's trying to make himself seem. Because if that were the case, where did this judge get this evidence from? So, we don't want to see people we like get in trouble like this, but people are just humans at the end of the day, and they can disappoint us. So don't ever be surprised about that. And I really had to check myself, like, just because this man is a good host doesn't mean that he's a good person. So I don't know. I guess time will tell with this story. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments, and we're going to move on to the next one.